KnifeDope. More dope. Come and get your fix. What's up, fuckers? Your boy's back with a fresh batch of dope. KnifeDope. That's right, people. The hits don't stop. Look at this beauty right here. 100% USA made. American Blade Works Model 1. Button lock variation. You know, I had just finished unboxing this earlier, I think last week sometime. I had actually got this by a request directly to the man himself, Mr. Michael Martin, and I thank him for that. But unbeknownst to y'all, you know, after my unboxing video, I started to have some issues with this knife that was actually starting to really piss me off. And it was the, something was going on in here with the actual spring and the plunger. The more I would deploy the knife, the stronger the spring would get. It got, or rather, the stronger the deployment would get. It got so bad that there was certain times that I would actually have to use two hands to open the knife, and I knew that something was wrong. So I disassembled it. As a matter of fact, I disassembled it 3 times totally. The first 2 times, I would disassemble it. I would try to compress the spring a little bit. Something that I did notice, though, out the gate was the type of spring that they use in this ABW. This is more like a cone shape, okay, versus the traditional springs we normally see is like a normal spring, you know. This one, like I said, is like a cone. And what I had noticed initially, or what I thought was the issue, and quite possibly still might be the issue, was it appeared like there was a piece of the spring that might be, you know, because it goes in, your plunger is circular. So I felt that maybe like it was going in at an angle, and it was kind of like something was going on, goddammit. So after disassembling it twice and the same issue happening over and over again, I decided to install a brand new spring from ProTech. These are the springs they use in their Mordax and Malibus. And I bought several, that way I'd have some extras. And that seems to have rectified things. We now have a consistent, very consistent strength. It's not getting stronger on me. It's not getting unbearable. So, yeah, I think that was the issue. Now, I will be reaching back out to ABW to see if they want to send me a new spring of theirs. And I will see... keep you guys informed on that. By all word on the street, Mr. Michael is a good guy, stands behind his product, so I'm sure that won't be no issue. Now, as good as that is, and as great as that sounds, that's not what we're here to talk about, people. Not at all. I've got 4 knives that we're going to be taking a look at. 3 of them are from the pass around, and 1 of them is a brand new acquisition. All of these knives are Chinese made, and so without further ado, let's get to the dope. Okay. Today's first Chinese knife on the agenda is going to be this one. Coming to us from Tuya. This is the Shocker. Now, not the Shocker and what we normally associate with the Shocker. Where does it go? Like this? If you know, you know. This is actually a knife. These come in at $295. And I'm going to tell you, out of all the Tuya knives I've handled thus far, I think I like this one the best. This version here has got this beautiful black PVD finish on this titanium scales, as well as the blade itself. Single form of deployment, which is this elongated pill-shaped cutout. Woo! Detent is dialed the fuck in. We've got a gorgeous clip point blade here in 20 CV steel. Now, they're running their 20 CV at an HRC of 60 plus or minus 2. So essentially, you've got a range of 58 to 62. I think that is a wide range. And of course, you're going to have, you know, shitty steel for the most part if you're down at 58, and decent steel if you're up there about 62. But nonetheless, they've got a very attractive, I love what they're doing here, like a PVD belt satin finish. So your belt satin lines will actually show underneath that that PVD. I think it's PVD. It might be DLC, but I swore I read PVD. Now we've got nicely contoured titanium scales. Got some milling lines put in there to assist with your grip, I guess. Milled titanium pocket clip. 7.1 inches is the overall length on this. We've got a geared titanium backspacer that stands ever so slightly proud to the actual spine of the handle. 120 thousandths blade stock thickness. Nice hollow grind on this blade. Add all that up, and what do you got? She's a slicey hoe. Cage ceramic bearings, 3.4 ounces. Now this, you know, this I can get 4 fingers on the actual handle, no problem there. But if you got bigger paws, that might be an issue. There is no spot for you to choke up on. They did a great job though on the plunge grind and edge termination, so you can have plenty of sharpening life there. I like it. $295 though. I'm not sure if I can co-sign that. This is a Chinese-made knife. Now, this is a collaboration between Steve from Bad Habits. That is the company who gave us the Mofo, I think, or something like that. I've never tried any of their knives, but I know that I've started to hear about them fairly recently. Now, that pocket clip is also right-hand tip-up carry only, so keep that in consideration. I guess, I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's the best tool I've dealt with, or rather I've handled. So there's that. But I don't think I'd add this to the collection for $295. I just don't think I'm willing to pay that. Let's just go ahead quickly and put 2 knives up for some comparison before we get to these next ones. We're going to go with the Miguron Mayoro. In comparison, we got a knife there that's also titanium frame lock, M390. You can get that under $200, especially if you use KnifeDope for your discount code at checkout. Check out White Mountain and D&K Knives for that. Last one for this is going to be the Asher Douglas, one of my favorite all-time knives from Asher. And so there you see the Shocker up against those. So as of right this minute, I guess I'm going to have to say a pass for me on this on the Shocker. I like it, but I just think the price is a little too high in my expert opinion. So there goes the Shocker. Now this next one, actually, I'm gonna promote this next one. This is coming to us from Concept, and if you know anything about me, up until fairly recently, I had really never been a big fan of any of Concept's models. I did buy one this year that has stuck around, and I really enjoy that. And then, of course, we know Concept did the OEM work for the Devo. What the fuck was that one? One of Devo's most recent drops. I can't remember. Is it the Lush? I think it's the Lush. But anyways, this is the Loki. These come in at $160, so the price is right. Titanium frame lock. We've got this, looks like a frown, essentially, cut out in the blade. Wasn't sure how that was going to feel about that as far as if it was going to work for deployment. But it works just fine. Nice little detent on this thing. We've got overall length of 6.8 inches, so it is a smaller size knife. That being said, though, it is right in my sweet spot. Ergos are good. We've got a nice spot for you to choke up on and get a nice full purchase, no refund. 2.9 inches in this drop point blade. S35 VN is the steel. We've got a shallow flat grind on this, satin finish. Would have loved for them to have gone a full length flat, or rather full flat or a full length hollow. But that's just my opinion. Titanium backspacer. We've got like a blue-gray contrast. We've got gray here on these chamfers here on the actual handle, and then blue with the majority. Looks good. Mill titanium pocket clip is right-hand tip up. Love the way they gave us that lock bar relief on the inside of the handle. That's always a nice touch. Not really digging this part right here though. I hate when knives do this, where you can actually see the tang of the blade when it's in the closed position. It just drives me nuts. But for $160, I'm not mad at it. 125 thousandths blade stock thickness, 3.6 ounces, Concept Loki. I think I am a fan. Tons of room for your disengagement, so there's that. That always makes a knife feel more expensive than it actually, or makes it feel more premium, I should say, if I'm being honest with you. So let's do some comparisons for this one. Let's go with the Concept that I've been super impressed with, so much so that it has stuck around in my collection, and that is, of course, the Wraith. Last up is going to be this guy right here, which is my second purchase of the Kaiser October. So here we see that Loki up against those. Definitely favoring this Loki so far, between the Shocker and, yeah, out the first two, goddamn. We've only done two, and this is one I'm favoring. I think this is a good one, guys. Honestly, you know I never shit you. All right, now let's get to this monstrosity next. This is it right here. This is the Dark Bolt Designs Arcus. Trying to be nice, people. Okay, $219 is what they're gonna charge you for this. We've got they say 5 forms of deployment, so let's count them. Traditional flipper, front flipper, set of tits, that's 3. And then they've got, you can always actuate the button right here. Now, this is not a traditional plunge lock / button lock. This is actually a liner lock that is actuated by the push of that button. Now, if you're not into buttons, you can also just actuate the actual liner itself, the lock bar portion of the liner. D10 is medium to medium light, I'd say. This version here has got this modified sheep's foot blade here. 7.75 inches is the overall length. 3.2 inches is in the 20 CV in the sheep's foot blade. I do dig the hollow grind we've got on here. Would have loved for it to have been deeper, but it is pretty thin behind the edge. So I'm not mad at that. Nice satin finish. Now, I think what ruins this knife for me is this cheap G10. Now, there are different levels to this shit. Like, there's knives and companies who have given us G10, which feel outstanding. Case in point is going to be Quiet Carry. Hands down, some of the best G10, if not the best G10 I've ever felt. And then we've got brands like this American company, of course, one of my favorites, which is Spyderco, high quality G10. This, however, is nothing like what I just showed you. This feels extremely cheap. It's rather smooth, so there's that. We've got 125 thousandths blade stock thickness. Now, they call this locking mechanism the bolt lock. It's just a button actuated liner lock, people. Ain't nothing special there. They just got this button that'll actually push on that liner to disengage it or to deploy it. Ergonomically, nothing crazy here. We've got a very neutral blade, or rather handle shape. No contouring, no chamfering, just straight pieces of fucking G10. They did give you a milled titanium pocket clip, so there's that. Now, their HRC range on this is very underwhelming, 59 to 61. So I guess you're just tits up if you got 59, and I guess you're better for it if you got 61. That's the chance you got to take. 3.7 ounces is the weight on this. So yeah, I don't know, $219. There's a bunch of shit I could find that I would spend over this knife right here. But I'm just being honest with you. Now, for comparisons, let's go with this one first. How about them Devo boys? I love me them Devo boys. We're going to go ahead and put up that MASH 2.5 rendition. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, the unofficial overseas knife of the channel. You know her name. You've seen the bitch before. We're going to go with that CJRB Echo. So here you see that Arcus up against those. Yep, I hope I'm not being too mean, but I'm just being honest. This Arcus is underwhelming, and especially at $219, I could definitely find something that I feel would be much, much better than this to spend my money on. But if you like it, go ahead and treat yourself. That one was the Dark Bolt Arcus. Right, not Dark, yeah, Dark Bolt Arcus. All right, this last one is actually my knife, goddammit. Now, if you've been following the channel recently, you'll know that this is my third fucking Vosti purchase, people, in less than a month. The very first one I got was this right here, which is, what is this one called? The Hedgehog. Now, this one was very underwhelming, and I did not really enjoy it when I unboxed it. But if I'm being 100% honest with you, slowly but surely, this bitch has grown on me. Mainly, I had to kind of make the micarta a little bit more tacky to make it not so slippery. That was my biggest concern. There's a couple of other things, but nothing major. But it has grown on me. It is a good cutter and has a little bit of fidgetability to it. But this one right here has been the showstopper. This is the Raccoon. Best $65, $70 I've spent in the last 2 years, hands down. 14C 28N. We've got really good micarta, in my opinion, way better than we found on the Hedgehog. And of course, they're using that top liner lock. I have been blown away with this knife, so much so that I have highly recommended it to many people in my chats. And so there's that. And then today we went ahead and we did this one. Now, when this first came out, I was contemplating pulling the trigger, but FOMO is real. And so here we go. This is actually a collaboration between Vosteed and Jeff Blavell. If you're not familiar with Jeff Blavell, he is the head dude at Tough Knives. I've been following Tough Knives for probably about a year at this point on IG. He's a custom knife maker, and he makes some awesome designs, man. Granted, they are not cheap, so this is quite possibly the only way I was able to get one of his designs in hand. And I'm going to tell you, I am blown away. The word you've been hearing about this, believe it. It's all true. $249. We've got a nice front flipper here with some, I guess, some medium-sized jimping. Would have liked maybe some finer jimping, but it's okay. Love the cutout. I decided to go with the contoured version of the knife. So we've got blackened titanium that is slightly contoured. We do have a nice chamfer going around the entire handle as well. Bigger than normal or bigger than usual titanium, mill titanium pocket clip, which is right hand tip up. We've got stainless steel pivot collars that are, you know, anodized gold or something, painted gold. Let's check it out. Okay, now this detent is a little bit lighter. Oh, no, never mind. I think it's breaking in a little bit. But look at that blade. That is a gorgeous looking blade. Just check out that whole profile. We've got 8.01 inches, so full-size knife. Generous finger choil, which definitely will accommodate that full purchase, no refund. 3.32 ounces, or rather 3.3 inches on this wonderful drop point blade in Elmax steel. We've got a black stonewash finish on the blade. I originally wanted the stonewash finish, but they were sold out. Ergonomically, very enjoyable. No issues, no hot spots to speak of. 138 thousandths is what they claim that blade stock thickness is, but it appears to me that's actually a little bit high. I think it's got to be less than that, right? I think it's got to be like 120 or something like that, but I could be wrong. Riding on cage ceramic bearings. We do have full-length stainless steel liners. However, those liners, wait a minute, yeah. We do have both sides of the two liners. The show side liner has been heavily skeletonized. That's not the case, though, on your locking liner. Once again, this is utilizing Vosteed's top liner lock, which is essentially Spyderco's compression lock with a button to actuate it. Basically, the same locking mechanism we find on the smock. I'm really, really digging this one, people. They crushed it. I think by far this has got to be Vosteed's best knife design to date. And I am not mad that I have it in the collection. Big thanks to Mr. Jeff for deciding to do the collab with Vosteed. I think it was a brilliant idea. Lastly, let's put some comparisons up. Let's go with the best sub $200 knife this year thus far. Of course, we're talking about the Kubi Momentum. Last but certainly not least, the knife that gave this company their inspiration. And we're talking about the Spyderco smock. So here we see the PSYOP up against those. Okay, taking bias out of the equation, I gotta say for sure my favorite knife from today is gonna be this one. You know, granted I bought it, it's mine. That's not important. I'm leaning with that one. In the second position, it's gonna be I think considering what the price costs and what you're getting, I'm going to go with the Loki. Then we're going to come with the Shocker. And then last place, deservedly, is going to be this monstrosity, which is this Dark Bolt Arcus. Well, there we have it, people. 4 Chinese knives for your viewing pleasure. But more importantly, I want to know what you fuckers think. Which one of these is y'all's favorite? Tell me all about it. Love you, mean it. Until the next time. Cut something, cut someone. Just don't cut yourself. Stay dangerous, fuckers.